morning, Miracle Swingers. Today is day 7 of my renewed commitment to working on my short game and putting in an effort to get to the next level of golf. And this has been such an amazing time because, my gosh, the things that I'm learning and adjusting and progressing through, it's pretty unbelievable. And just to tell you a quick story about commitment, I was listening to Bob Rotella tell a story about Paul Runyon, Little Poison, the short game master who won 2 PGA championships. He beat Sam Snead for one of them. And the guy, man, he was probably the shortest hitter to ever win a PGA championship. But the guy was such a good short game player that people lobbied the PGA way back in the day. This is a story that blew my mind that Rotella was saying. They asked the PGA to make the cups bigger because Runyon was just destroying them. And then when they made the cups bigger, he's just making all his chips and just kicked their butts even worse. So that's just a crazy story. There's another one I'll have to tell you about another time. But so 4 days in a row, I've been up at dawn to go out to the golf course to work on my short game. And this morning I said, well, there's a good pitching area over at Brookside. So I'm going to go to Brookside. So I left my house before 6 a.m. and I'm thinking, you know, one of the best things about this is there's probably not going to be anybody out there. And I'll probably get a parking spot in the front parking lot. There's about 50 spots. And once those are filled up, you have to park way over by the Rose Bowl. Well, I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning and all the spots are taken up except the last one. I got the last spot. And so that just tells you a little bit about it. But, you know, I've never really gotten up this early to work on my game, but it's part of my new commitment, practice like a pro. I want to get better. I hope you want to get better too. So listen to this quick little tip that I'm doing with my chipping routine that I think makes a big difference mentally. So I'm out here this morning working on my chipping, and I've adopted a new strategy, listening to Bob Rotella, How Champions Think. And previously I'd been chipping, trying to get close to the hole, make a grouping that, I could get up and down. But for the last 30 minutes, I've just focused on, I have to make the chip before I can move on. And I've made 4 chips so far. And so the attention is so narrow that, I have to make it. And I think that it is just totally rewiring the way that I think about chipping. It's just making me focus so much more. And, again, it's like the byproduct isn't so much that, I'm making every chip. The byproduct is all the balls are much closer to the hole because I'm trying to hole them. So just by changing the way that I think about chipping, it's affecting the results in a positive manner. So it's all about how you narrow your focus. I heard that Seve Ballesteros, his goal, whenever he could see the pin, was to put the ball in the hole. That just tells you how he saw the game of golf. I was always, like, let me get it up near there or around there. You have to narrow your focus. Now, the reason why I'm able to work on my short game so much now is I'm pretty comfortable with my ball striking because of the over-the-top miracle swing. I highly encourage you guys to watch that video. Now, today's video is going to be about the evolving nature of the over-the-top miracle swing and what I'm working on to cover the ball more and more. I'm like, I want to max this out. You look at Sam Snead and you look at Ben Hogan, they were the best at it. They were the best. And I want to be outstanding and great at it as well. So I highly recommend you check out MSE TV as well. MSE TV has much more than the over-the-top miracle swing. It also has the drills that I'm working on as I'm going through this continued evolution. Don't forget, guys, the next over-the-top miracle swing intensive is September 3rd and 4th. Come on out, 18 hours of ball striking and drills. I'm going to have some guest coaches. I'll let you know who they're going to be very soon, and this is going to be amazing. The guys that do this, it's unbelievable how they transform over the course of a weekend. Hope you come on out. And guys, I have to give a massive shout out to my main man, John, who just won his first tournament with his over-the-top miracle swing. Way to go, John. I'm super proud of you. Oh.
Well, that was pretty. That was flush.
Now let's get into this pretty interesting video about my ball striking. It's very refined, but it's a pretty big deal.
Hey guys, what I'm working on is a 7-iron cut shot. When you go through the OTT move, it's very common for draw players to start to hit poles. And I've worked back to hitting a straight shot to a slight fade. So that's a step in the right direction. It's a lot of fun, and it's my swing evolution.
All right, guys, I am super excited to talk you through this here range session because there's an awful lot to learn. So here we can see I'm hitting this little cut shot out here, and you know, I said in my last video, after hitting draws and hooks for 35 years, it's pretty nice to be able to work the ball back the other way. And it's kind of funky for me to see this, you know, and it's really, for me, it's about having mastery over my shot patterns. I mean, if I had a gun to my head before, I could manufacture some sort of a ball flight that goes from left to right. But, you know, what Jack Nicklaus said was, he's like, I wanted to hit a straight ball that fell to the right. And as I'm hitting these shots, I just feel like the dispersion is less. They don't all fade. In fact, there's a couple of them that I turn over slightly. Some of them just fly straight. But I feel like in general, the dispersion was much tighter. So that's not a bad one. So I switched the camera angle up here, and I decided to go rear angle view. One thing that I observed with these swings was a very good rhythm and tempo. I felt like I could have stacked all of these next to each other, and they would have looked pretty much the same tempo-wise. Now, I've been thinking of my over-the-shoulder throw move, and I actually started to take it a step further here, thinking about a judo throw called Uchimata. So that was just a little experiment, and I decided to dig into it a little bit more. Getting that feeling of throwing a person over your shoulder, and you actually wheel them over with your trail leg. You just hoist them over and give them that little extra nudge. Remarkably, I smoked that ball. So I decided to switch the camera angle up and give it a try. Now I'm trying to make sure that I'm swinging down over my shoulder and low left.
So I have talked before about the shoulder throw, Seoi-nage, and right now what I'm thinking about is Uchimata, which is where it's a reaping throw over the shoulder, where you use your trail leg to hoist the person over your shoulder, and it tips your center of gravity. And I find that it actually helps for the feeling I want to have of staying down and over through the shot with the OTT move.
So I actually started to get even better compression after working on this. These shots are coming off super compressed with a tidy little fade. That one went straight. And these balls are flying very high as well. So what I'd like to do is do a swing comparison from a swing that I did a couple weeks ago. All right, guys, here we go. This is pretty incredible here. So I made a video called Advanced Ball Striking just a few days ago, but the swings were from last month actually. But I wanted to show you something that's pretty interesting because it was making that video that I saw something I wanted to change. So first, let's watch this swing right here. This is me hitting that nice little compressed fade I talk about. Oh, that's so tasty. So now I'm going to put a handle trace on this. I find it very interesting. So I'm going to go back and we'll take this a little bit slower. We'll see I take the club back to the inside and up. And then this is the area where I get into my shoulder throw feeling. I come over the top. We see that clearly. And now what I want is that handle. I'm on top of that handle. Can you see that? I've got that pressure down on the back of the shaft so I can compress this golf ball. And you'll see the handle disappear to the left with the little L that you see. This is key. This is what I noticed in my swings in the red shirt was my handle wasn't going left as soon as I would like. In other words, even though I was hitting the ball well, I wasn't covering it as well as I potentially could. So let's watch that swing in the red shirt now. Now, once again, if I saw myself hitting this 5-iron on the range, I'd be like, that's a pretty good looking swing. Nicely executed little cut shot. Once again, I'm still hitting this cut. This has been one of the great bonuses of my OTT miracle swing. So I'm able to swing down over the top, put a little cut spin on it, but let's do a handle trace and check out what the handle's doing at impact. So right away, I feel like I'm swinging more down the line than I am in my video from yesterday. It's still getting out away from me a little bit. Now I am very much so wanting to go OTT, but you're not going to see very much. Then here my hands are leading. I make impact. There's a little less turn to the left. My handle's not disappearing as soon as I'd like, so I'm swinging more down the line than I would like, which causes a tad more face rotation. So again, it's a finely struck ball. It's a good looking golf swing, but I'm down to, I'm like a sculptor and I'm getting it really, really refined now. So I think that if we watch both of them next to each other, we're going to see something pretty darn interesting. Okay, here we go. Now I've got the camera placed to the rear down the line, and we're going to notice many similarities. But I think if we look at the red shirt picture on the right, I'm not keeping my upper arm as connected as it is on the left. Another thing that you'll notice specifically is I'm cocking my wrists more actively in the swing on the right, the red shirt swing. So we've already seen the club head disappear behind my hands. Now I'm just beginning to make my OTT move here, and we can see it's much more pronounced
in the black shirt swing on the left. And I've got the club more in my throwing hand, coming over the shoulder after working on this judo hip kind of throw. So as I get down here, I'm much more narrow in my path on the right. Shangri-La looks almost the same, but we're going to see something very specific at impact. So as we look at this impact position, on the left, I've got a lot more hip showing. You'll also see that my left shoulder is beginning to disappear. It's a little bit open to the target line, whereas on the right, my shoulders are pretty much parallel to the target line. And as I go down and through, the delivery and the exit of my handle on the left is much better rotation through the shot. The compression is better, the ball flight's better, the sound is better. And again, I'm saying that the swing on the right was a darn good swing. But when we really take a look at it, the energy, the way I'm turning through the shot on the left is far superior. So I hope this little tutorial helps you out with your swing evolution. This is a very evolved process that I'm in at this point, but it's thrilling to be able to ask my body to do something different and be able to produce it. Now I'm trying to ingrain it so that it's something that I completely own. And this is a process I love. I think it's worth the time and effort. I hope that you'll be working on your OTT miracle swing. And I don't know what else to tell you except this has changed my life. So come on out to the next MSE Intensive, September 3rd and 4th, if you'd like to learn the swing from me in person. Hit them long and hit them straight.
Do you have trouble slicing the golf ball? How many times have you heard people tell you you're swinging over the top? That's your problem. If you've always had a problem slicing the ball, you may just have a couple things out of place that are keeping you from hitting the ball long and straight.
The greatest swings from the past were over the top. Gradually over time, the most natural way to hit a golf ball was maligned, forgotten, and even shunned. The swinging of a golf club mimics a natural throwing motion, and allowing the hands to go over the top is the simplest and most effective way to play good golf. This is the over-the-top miracle swing.
Don't try to rebuild your swing if you're over the top. Learn to use it to your advantage. I want you to swing over the top because it's easy, it's natural, and many of the greatest golfers in history swung over the top. Golfers like Bobby Jones, Sam Snead, and even Ben Hogan. My little over-the-top move is the final puzzle piece that I've been searching for 12 years.
Do you think you picked up some yardage since we've been working on this stuff?
On the driver, at least 50 to 60 yards.
It's dynamite.
It's crazy.
Golf instructors warn people to never swing over the top because they'll hit a slice. Well, I tested this theory and it's flat wrong. Let's be clear. Swinging over the top does not cause a slice. The face being open to the path causes a slice. Over the top is not a bad thing. In fact, it's the best way to leverage the golf club.
I've never hit my 3-wood that way.
Really?
What club is this? Yeah.
A few decades ago, when golf became a big industry, they began to teach swinging wide and out instead of inside and up.
I was thinking inside, up, and right down on it.
Pretty.
Beauty.
Did you work on taking it inside?
Yes, but this one was a little more exaggerated feeling with that.
This single change in instruction doomed 3 generations of golfers, and I was the first generation. I spent 30 years with a dumpster fire swing trying to figure this out. That's why I started my swing evolution. Today my channel has over 25 million views, and I even got to swing as Ben Hogan on the Golf Channel. The best part about my new golf swing is I'm not plagued by swing thoughts. It's easy. I just draws it back and hits it. Listen to what some of my students have to say about the over-the-top miracle swing.
Is it working for you?
Working.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing it.
It's just easy. It's just easy. I don't have a whole bunch of thoughts, just one. Just come inside, hit down. Off it goes.
Yep.
These guys are getting better exponentially.
Oh.
In my mind, I'm picturing that one video Sam Snead you have on there where he's so clearly over the top. He's like
Yeah.
this.
OTT, baby.
Swinging over the top is natural. It's how your body wants to move. That's why everybody swings over the top when they start playing, because it's a natural motion, just like throwing a ball. If you had a sledgehammer or an axe, you wouldn't swing it out and wide, you'd chop your foot off. You would guide the weight inside and up so you can swing down with leverage. It's really that simple. Dropping it under causes pushes and hooks, and it almost ruined my back.
I'm feeling good. That felt very comfortable.
Right
No
on.
pain.
Now, my back is healthy, I'm hitting the ball further than ever, and I just shot under par my last time out. If you're tired of being a bad golfer, this swing is for you. Click the link below to experience your very own miracle, or take advantage of this introductory offer to get MSE TV, which is all of my content, for only $9.95 a month. This is a limited time offer, so act now. Get my new video, the over-the-top miracle swing. Begin your swing transformation today at myswingevolution.com.